Hello and welcome to the space between ideas. I'm Blaine Gates. I'm very, very cold. You can't actually see the thermometer. It's 9 degrees in here. And I got a door open. I got windows open. It's going to be 1 degree Celsius tonight. And after the alarm goes off in 7 minutes, Gordon's going to start barking. Then I'm going to be taking off all these warm clothes, and as per usual, we're going to be going outside to go for a run, doing our regular 4K every night, 11:30. I used to listen to these things about stoicism, and they're like, it's the power to push yourself every day. It's like, that dude must have a dog, because, I don't know how much stoicism you'd have to push yourself to run 4 kilometers a day without a dog. That sounds crazy. Even with the dog, and then I bribed, there's another dog in the neighborhood. I bribed him to come with us. It's cold. It's real cold. But it makes you tough, It just makes you tough. And I just figured I need to get tougher. All right, so what are we talking about on this channel? What is going on? What happened recently? I've been reading this book for a very long time. And one of the chapters in this book is called State Purposes. So in the last 2 months, I made a 21 episode live lecture series, and I just discussed everything from that chapter of the book. And what happened? So as a result, I ended up making basically like a simplified version that makes more sense to me personally. And well, anyways, the only thing I added, because I shared this image with people in the very last episode of the series, but then I added this. So I actually put in my from the chapter that talks about effects that people want to achieve. I call it vision, and then I listed the things that I'm hoping to achieve, and then in the area about prerequisites, then it's like, what's the potential you want to create? And then this is from the book also. I actually listed all of the different things. All right, so that's fantastic. Hello, Shadow. So yeah, I went through the whole thing. I went through the whole chapter by myself. I created something that made a little more sense to me. I added a section in the middle, which was very important to me, about how to stay positive and how to stay faithful. I feel like choosing to be positive and feeding your positivity, choosing to have faith and feeding that faith is a big influence in my life, and maybe it's an influence in your life. It certainly is helpful for me to have a vision of my faith and a vision of positivity and choosing to be positive. And even when you're frozen inside, Shadow's asking in the chat section what this channel is all about. Well, let me show you what it's all about. So if you heard about Stephen Covey, then you will have heard about this thing called a paradigm shift. When you're a kid, you are dependent, and humans are dependent on their mother, their parents, their family for an extremely long time. And Stephen Covey said basically, here you can see number 1 here, it says be proactive. Number 2, begin with the end in mind. And 3 is put first things first. This was his first, he put forth this vision because he wanted people to move from dependence to independence. And he felt like having the begin with the end in mind, having that big vision, and then working on that vision step by step was really how you can achieve a private victory. Okay, so what does that mean in my personal life? So people who have been following my channel for a while, they know that I talk about business. And I think a business is basically 3 things. It's product development, it's website, and that means also your premises, your local, if you have like a store, your website or online premises, it means the place of transaction, and then your outreach, which means marketing and sales. And what I've been doing for the last 10 years is I've been reading this book, Create Crucial Insight, which is the one I just showed everybody. And what happened is I started teaching people. In fact, I've taught more than Well, I'm just going to start using this as the official number because I've clocked 3,765 lessons. I've uploaded 50 edited videos to YouTube, and I have created 25 live videos. This is everything I've done to teach and share the ideas from Tom's book. And as a result, what happened was I started creating learning facilitation experiences. And then I uploaded at least one of those experiences to my website. And in general, they consist of courses and authoring. And what does it mean, courses and authoring? Courses, it's like an online course, it's knowledge. Authoring, it's when you have some questions and then you have to type out some responses. And the main focus right now for me is to continue to develop courses and develop these authoring programs. In fact, if you go down here, back in the past, I've actually created a number of these authoring products. One of my favorite ones is this one. This one's called, okay, this is not one of my favorite ones. This is one of my favorite ones. It's called, it's called the Flywheel. The Flywheel, 6 stages of process building to reach your objective. I love this one. I had a really good time making that one. I really enjoyed it. Oh, the alarm just went off. Gordon's already sitting right next to me, so maybe he'll give me 5 more minutes without going crazy. And another one I really enjoyed making was, I think it's this one. The Fortune Teller Manager. Okay, so these are 2 authoring experiences that I created in the past. You can see this one has 21 pages and the other one has 9 pages. So you can see, for example, begin by writing down your thoughts about goal setting. Does your company use KPI or OKR methodology? What does your planning process look like? What are some of the things if accomplished in the next several months would lead to a pay raise? And these are kind of some of the things I talk to people about when I meet them face to face. What? And the Fortune Teller Manager, it's an earlier authoring program, and I made this quite a while ago. But these are not currently on my website, so I need to turn these into some kind of experience so that people can pay and then also access this information. All right, so here's the authoring products that I've built. And in fact, the thing that we created from the State Purposes live lecture series, I'm going to create another authoring. You can see down here. So I've already started to make an actual authoring process so that people can then use that information in a practical way. All right, so that's what it's all about. That's what my website's all about. I create courses and I create authoring processes. Those are based on the soon 4,000 lessons I've taught using Tom's book as the curriculum. But, as I've been teaching the book, I've also, as you know from other videos, I've learned many, many, many different types of, so I guess we're going to have courses and other methodologies. So those are the products that I'm going to be selling on my website. Now, if we go to the second section, look, there's this other word called interdependent, and this is a concept from Stephen Covey. You can see that this was actually the top. You see, so this was the bottom, dependence to independence. And I've become independent. In fact, there was a guy from my church, and he came here from Tbilisi. I live in a country called Georgia, and I live in a little village that's next to Azerbaijan and Russia. There's like 2,000 people here. And one of the guys from my church, he was serving a mission, him and his wife, like 2 years ago when I first got here. And he helped me to renovate a lot of the kitchen and the bathroom. And without him, I don't know what I would have done. It was a huge blessing in my life. And then when he left, then I slowly made some changes, very slowly. I moved my, I showed you in the shorts. There's actually a short where I'm showing people how I moved my stove to one place and my table to another place, and I made some changes around the room. And now structurally, it's like how I want it to be. And him and his wife came over on Tuesday, so they were called to serve another mission here in Georgia. And he said the funniest thing to me. He's like, so he said, I can see that you are living here completely independently. And I was like, what? I've been independent my whole life. So, but that's an issue, right? Because you're never going to grow just doing things by yourself. You can't be independent forever. At some point, you have to move into this section called interdependent. And I think that's what I got from the state purposes checklist. All right. So on the left, we have the vision regarding a coaching company. And in the final video, I talked about how I want to create a coaching company. And I was talking about the software that would support this type of business. Because why? Because I'm trying to enhance this person's life. I want to enhance, like right now, I have like 7, 8, 9 people I talk to every week. And I want to enhance these people's lives. But I want to enhance more people's lives. I want to effect principles of entrepreneurial thinking, business management, and coaching. I want to provide resources for coaches. I want to provide methods for coaches, and I want to have satisfying experiences. I think this was kind of like the thing when I finally realized I'm starting to become interdependent, because now I started to realize, I want to have satisfying experiences. I'm starting to like to be around people more. I'm starting to come out of my shell. I'm starting to, like a seed planted. I finally have a space where I bought this apartment and I started to move things around, and I got a dog, regular life stuff. It only took me 45 years. And then on the right, then the potential we would need to work on. So what I'm talking about is like, all right, so we together, we're going to need to create an ally with relationships. We're going to need to create and deploy resources. We're going to need to create and deploy methods, create and deploy knowledge, enhance your reputation, attain recognition. So this is the potential that I want to develop with me and other people. And then here's the big vision that are the things, the purposes that are driving me. This is all about the purposes, the motivation, and what is pushing you to move forward. And right now I can see it's starting to head in the direction of interdependent. Now Covey, he goes in, he says, well, if you're thinking about being more interdependent, you need to seek first to understand, then to be understood. So, coaching 3,765 hours, probably the biggest benefit is I can now sit and listen to somebody talk for 30 minutes. Remember one time I had someone I was talking to, and we had a speaking timer on, and our goal was for her to reach 90%. I wanted her to talk 90% of the time. She got to like 87%. Synergize. So synergize, it's like 1 + 1 = 3. So it means that, well, let's go down here, because you see here, find teachers to add to my website with courses. It means I need to quickly create more products, enhance my website. The main issue is creating more products. And I have a lot of different ideas, and as you can see, I have some authoring products, and then I've been working on developing courses, and I teach the same basic thing to all the people I talk to, most of the people I talk to, because I give them patterns of thinking, and we go through processes of thinking. Sometimes they have like a real issue that they want to solve, and they're like, hey, I want to solve this issue. And then I can take, pieces from all different places of Tom's book and then create them like a one-pager, and then we can kind of structure the problem that they're thinking about. All right, so it means I really need to enhance my reputation and to create and deploy all these methods, knowledge, and resources, because that's going to really help with when I start to create relationships. People who already have courses, it shouldn't, there's a lot of different ways to do that, because I can just go to course websites, and then I can look at the top selling courses, or I can look at topics that I'm interested in, or I can look at coaching methodologies and then start to contact these people and then talk to them about it. Hey, would you like to put your course on my website? Would you like to put your products on my website? And then, as I talked about, eventually then there's going to be some students, and then we want to add those student teachers also to the website so that there's more people who are teaching. And then the big difference is when we start to standardize the curriculum, because I want to have like a two-sided window, a student side of the window and then a teacher side of the window, so that we're looking the students looking at the student workbook, the teachers looking at the teacher workbook, and the facilitation experience is this experience, because then students can actually teach as if they're a teacher, because they have the notes, they have the process, the facilitation process that they need to go through. Why? So this all is talking about the central issue for a coach. The central issue is, number one, how do I get coaching hours and improve? All right? And that's why I want to create a coaching platform with student teachers. And then number two is that's what I mean by coaching hours. How do I get coaching hours and get paid? You see? So that's the hardest thing about becoming a coach, is like, I'm not going to tell you the secret of how I got 3,765 hours of coaching in the last 7 years or 6 years, because there's a period I'm not really counting. So basically it's in the last 4 years. 4 years? Yeah, 4 years. It's about 1,000 by the end of the year. So it's like 1,000 hours a year. So now I want to create a platform where just only for coaching, and for you as a student learning how to coach, and then also getting paid and improving and also increasing your pay. Why? Because there's two issues here. The first one is like how do I market myself? And then how do I get experience? And these are the central issues that I've constantly been looking at and trying to figure out how to solve. The hard part, of course, is that before I can market other people, I have to market myself, meaning I have to learn marketing. And then for me, I got the experience, so I don't have to solve this problem for myself. Now I'm trying to solve this problem for other people. So there you go. So this is like very, very structured and very clear about what exactly is motivating me, and the things that I'm trying to build, and the people I'm trying to work with. And so now it's just like, okay, so now look, now it's form agendas, right? So now we write down form agendas. And this goes right back into my other course. So this goes right back into the Endeavor cycle. And of course, we're going to continue using Tom's book, Create Crucial Insight, in order to get the answers to this. But I think this is awesome. Like, we have like a very clear vision, very defined vision, and the step-by-step process. Like, basically, it took me 4 years just to do the first 2 boxes, and now, yay! So we're still on product development, and that's really the hard part, is because you have to have enough product on your website so that it attracts attention. Because people, if you only have one little product, they're like, okay, what is this? But if you have like a series of products, then it's like, okay, this is interesting. All right, good. So that's just what I wanted to cover today. And now Gordon is just, now he's gone back to sit down, and he's chewing on something because he's stressed out. He wants to go run. All right, thank you for joining me here on Space Between Ideas. We will catch you again on Thursday. Bye-bye.